finally here. It's September 9th, and my debut fantasy horror novel, The Monsters Among Us, is finally published. So, I figured as a treat, I would do a first chapter reading for you all. So, let's get started. So, before we do begin the reading, I wanted to provide a quick content warning, as this is a dark book. So, content warning for derogatory language, other harsh language, and brief mention of sexual assault. Just so you're aware. Okay, let's begin. The Monsters Among Us, Kent Priori. Smoking these cigarettes has been a part of my life long enough to forget when I started. Though the when of it all may be lost to me, the why has never left my mind. It was not one thing, but many incidents that have culminated into a single addiction-causing choice. I remember the words spoken to me by the cashier from whom I bought my first pack. "Are you sure you want these suicide sticks?" he asked, with a wide and ill-suited grin. "That's why I am here," I responded. Taking a long drag, the smoke runs deeply into my lungs. As I exhale, the very essence of life leaves me in the form of a thick grey fog of tobacco and tar. Only the butt is left, and so I toss it away onto the rocky cliffside. To my right is the pack of cigarettes upon a paperback copy of Paradise Lost. I have a habit of coming here to the summit of the mountain overlooking town during the rougher moments of life, to smoke, read, and clear my head. Today I have different reasons. No longer do I have the energy to struggle against my mind. The air is crisp without the taint of industry and human progress. The cold and stony cliffside is therapeutic, as I am prone to running hot. The only noise that fills the air is the unwavering soundscape of crickets, chirping birds, and the scurrying about of wildlife through a mixture of fallen leaves, wood, and stone. The atmosphere calms me, unlike the cacophony of human civilization. But today, though the tree branches rustle sweetly over me, I don't experience the usual tranquility. Instead, pressure builds within my chest. It continues to grow until rising to my throat. My hands begin to shake. I feel my neck tightening and, oh God, can't breathe. Clutching my throat with my left hand, my right grabs another cigarette. With it almost vibrating out of my shaking grip, I place it between my parsed lips. Taking the lighter, I ignite it, worrying that my hand will slip and singe my beard during the struggle. Inhaling, I feel the gradual calming of my nerves. Fuck. They're becoming more frequent. I take a long drag, intending to savor this cigarette, as it will be my last. Exhaling, the thick fog masks my surroundings and encases me in unwanted memories. Walking through the hall on my way to class, I felt their glare beating against the back of my head. Somewhere along the course of middle and high school, I was labeled as, "I'd stay away from him," said a girl to my right. Staring straight ahead, I refused to give them the satisfaction of acknowledgement. Though I did notice from the corner of my eye long, slender ivory legs and brunette hair tied in pigtails. She was standing amongst a large group of preppy girls and their muscular jock boyfriends. "I heard he's bipolar," says another girl. "He'll punch someone just for making eye contact." The incessant rattle continued. "Well, I heard he killed someone." "Oh my gosh, did he really? So scary. Think he'd rape me? He might. He raped little Susie White." "Seriously?" That's what she told everyone. It was like that every day, though only one thing was maybe true. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Or was it borderline personality disorder? Schizophrenia? I've been passed around from one psychiatrist to another since I was 10. Way too young for any of these diagnoses, but the point is, it's hard to know for sure just what I am. Though everyone around seemed to have settled on an accepted truth. "Hey, look, it's Seth the retard," said a masculine voice. "I heard you raped a girl. You're a real scumbag, you know that? A fucking monster is more like it." I'm just trying to get to class. Please leave me be. A chaotic pounding in my chest. My throat tightened, and it became harder to breathe. No way, you can't do these kinds of things and get away with it, you no good bastard. My mind marinated in anxiety. My surroundings grew hazy. It was a strange sensation where my body numbed, while my mind ascended from within my skull, opting to float above and around the scene, dooming me to watch what had been for so long a horrid daily occurrence. My heightened mental state rendered my body frozen in fear, and it also seemed to hasten my perception. Everything proceeded as if life was a film being fast-forwarded. A punch to the nose knocked me backward. There was a stone wall behind. My hair was tugged and pulled to steer my face into the wall. I fell to the floor and received kicks to the side that held so much power. With each blow, the puddles in my eyes deepened. Tears trickled onto the grime-covered tile floors. I never did make it to class. Struggling to my feet, I made my way home. The smoke clears, and the once comforting woodland surroundings return. I wish this place cleared my head like it used to, but I can't help but to feel so numb. Those memories rouse some unpleasant elation in me, and I feel another episode settling in. Taking another drag of my cigarette, a fresh veil of smoke disperses to lose myself in again. Ah, she graduates from college soon. I knew she'd make it through. Praise Jesus! Such a wonderful blessing the Lord has bestowed upon you. She must be so happy, said a voice amongst the crowd in the church's lobby. Did you get that promotion? I won't find out for another few days, but if God wills it, it will be so. If not, it's no big deal. It just means the Lord has other plans for me. Head hanging low, I avert my eyes from onlookers as I make my way to join the sermon. Walking through the church was like trying to weed my way through a vast forest of smiling faces, impervious to the woes of life. If only I was that strong. They say it's the power of Christ that through the Holy Spirit, the Lord thy God, will provide our every need. That's why they seem so satisfied with everything. The only need I ever asked to be fulfilled was for a bit of joy. Every night as a child for over a decade I bent over my bedside, hands folded in prayer. God, I'm sorry for all my sins. I don't know exactly what I have done, but whatever it was, I'm so sorry, and please forgive me. Please, let me be happy. I couldn't ask forgiveness for anything specific, because I hadn't done anything wrong. I was an innocent, small child who didn't know any better and just took the teachings of the Bible to be true, no matter what. Sin is the cause of all suffering. If you want to be saved by God, you must repent your sins, is what I heard from both the church and my parents for years now. So I tried to repent. I prayed and prayed for years until I was convinced there really was a God, and he did love everyone, like the Bible claimed. But he didn't love me. I was the outlier. Then I began to feel cursed, because while there was a God, he had decided that I wasn't worth saving. I sat down in the chapel alongside my parents. The two of them sat upright and proper, eagerly awaiting the pastor's ascension to the stage. Next to them I looked crumpled and worn down, my back slouched and neck craned over so my eyes could see my battered black Converse shoes. My eyes heavy and dry. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Welcome and good morning, spoke the pastor as he hurried onto the stage. Please turn your Bibles to Matthew 19:26. Tuning him out, his voice descended into muffled obscurity, not because I intended to, but because I felt another of my episodes approaching. It started with a hard thump in my chest, and my vision blurred, except for the pastor on the podium where he stood. Tethered to his gaze, his visage burnt into my pupils, my skin glossy with cold sweat. With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible, he proclaimed. For us who are born again, God will bring salvation. But those mired in sin and worldly desires, he paused, glaring in my direction, eyes wide, never blinking, a smirk on his face, will be damned to eternal death in the fires of hell. It wasn't too many Sundays after that I decided I would no longer go to church. Belief in God only increased my suspicions that I was cursed, and so I thought it'd be better to embrace atheism. Upon telling my parents this, my father's blazing scowl was branded even deeper into his face. Putting down his whiskey glass, he rose from the couch and approached me with cold ferocity, like a hawk swooping in on a fear-ridden chipmunk. He gripped my hair like a rope, coiled it around his fingers with precision, and proceeded to drag me outside. Reaching the shed in our backyard, he tossed me in, slammed the door, and within the darkness all I could hear was the turning of a key. I'll let you out once you reconsider your sinful ways. You better think twice about disgracing your family like this. Soon I relented, and once again accompanied them to church every Sunday. But I sure as hell never believed in God again. Another lungful of smoke disperses, and beyond it, the sun is now on the verge of setting. The view is enhanced by the hues of purple and orange found in the twilight sky. Looking down at my cigarette, I see that the next drag will be my last. Sucking it down, I watch the embers drip from the end before getting caught by a gust of wind and drifting off. On the way home from one of my many trips to the mountain summit, a man appearing to be around my age, 23, walked towards me. His head was shaven on the side and substituted with peculiar, tribal-like tattoos lined in teal. Matching that color was a substantial mohawk rising high above his head, his body clad entirely in white. As he came closer, I could only imagine what he desired to do to me. I flinched and shut my eyes, only to open them once more at the sound of metal clinking against the sidewalk. The Mohawk sporting man passed by without a word. Beneath my feet lay what seemed to be an old locket. "Hey, you dropped this!" I turned around, and even though it had only been a few seconds, the man and his dyed mohawk were nowhere to be seen. Bewildered by his disappearance, I pocketed the locket, thinking I'd return it if I happened to see him again. "The town psycho is back at it again, is he?" spoke a lanky, black-haired man. "Who you're talking to just now?" The guy with the mohawk. He dropped something and I wanted to... "Man, you're really far gone, ain't you? This is a small town, and there's not a single mohawk sporting buffoon here. Plus, I was watching the whole time. You spaced out for a good 5 minutes, turned around, and spoke to the empty air. You some kind of idiot." I continued walking home, but the man followed closely enough that I could feel his breath on my neck. "Just how long before you snap and start killing everyone here? Think you could do us all a favor and start with yourself? I could lend you a noose. We don't need any crazy folk around here." I started running. He didn't pursue, which was lucky, because since smoking 4 packs a day made it clear I wasn't fit for the Olympics. I slowed to a crawl, coughing up mucus. This was an everyday affair. As rough as that was, it was nothing compared to the abuse I received from my parents. The goal was to sneak inside and hide in my room, but as I opened the door, there they were, awaiting my arrival, along with a face I thought I had left behind. It was the lanky, black-haired man. Only now it looked as if someone had hit him in the face with a cheese grater. Along with those scrapes and bruises were 2 large black eyes. "That's the one. Your son's a monster. He did this to me." I couldn't comprehend what was happening. My parents approached me. "Why would you do this, Seth?" "He says you attacked him without reason," my mother said. Don't even let him try to weasel himself out of this one. I've no reason to doubt this man. Seth, don't you fucking move," said my father. "The cops are coming." The next sequence of events happened in a blur. I had no time to defend myself, verbally or otherwise. When the cops arrived, they pinned me down, cuffed me, and dragged me to their police car. As the vehicle sped off, I turned to look through the rearview mirror, and on the front lawn stood my parents and that rude stranger, each of whom wore smiles which stretched upward on both sides, to such a degree that it looked as if their faces were ripping and tearing. For a moment, the whites in their eyes turned black. Did I really assault him? I don't remember, but... Oh, that man with the mohawk, he was there, wasn't he? I reached into my pocket to search for the locket, and sure enough it was there, but my mind didn't stop contemplating the situation. Maybe I got this locket from somewhere else, and I had no time to think it over. Soon enough, we were at the police station. I was held for a few days and eventually went to court, where the judge gave me two options. Apparently the man I assaulted was feeling merciful, and said he wouldn't file charges if I agreed to spend time in a psych ward. That was one option. The other was prison. I spent months inside what they called a hospital, but felt as though I had chosen my other option. The walls were ragged and worn, the tile floors cold and dirty. All the windows were secured with metal bars. I, at 23 years old, had a bedtime, or at least a time when all patients had to return to their rooms. It was no surprise that I felt trapped and depressed. After so many months, I lost hope of ever getting out. They wanted me to take meds, which I refused. At first, my mind went back to being locked inside the shed by my father, and how I caved and agreed to abide by his rules. I may have my rebellious moments, but I always lacked the backbone when it counted. So, I abided by the hospital's medication regimen. After a couple weeks feeling dazed and empty, the medication eating away at me like poison, they released me. On my way out, the head psychiatrist said, "I'd wish you luck, but I know it's pointless. Everyone talks in this town, so I know all about you. You want to know the truth? You'll never make it out there, because no one wants you around. Why do you think you were sent here? You've done too much damage. I'd liken you to an animal, but even they serve a purpose. They provide us food, but you're worth less than the dirt they coat their shit in." I witnessed that same horror again, this time upon the face of the psychiatrist. His smile grew so wide that his skin tore and blood squirted from the corners of his mouth. I turned away and hastened my escape. These recurring episodes were getting much more frequent, and yet I never grew used to it. My heart trembled as I ran. While I never learned whether my alleged assault on that man happened, there is no denying his bruises, and it was their word against mine. Maybe I was a monster, after all. Staring out into the dark wilderness, I try to take another drag, but the cigarette is mere embers. Sucking on just a filter, I'm hoping there would be a bit more to smoke. It's my last cig, and I don't want to let go, but I know I must. Reaching into my right pants pocket, I take out the locket. I felt compelled to bring it everywhere, ever since that day 3 years ago. I thought if I could find that man with the teal mohawk and return his locket, I could convince myself that I'm not crazy. But to this day it remains with me, shoving it deep within my pocket, leaving the copy of Paradise Lost and the empty pack of cigarettes behind. I walk to the edge of the cliff. More than a 50-foot drop, inching closer, I breathe in and begin to take my final step. A flash of light through the trees from behind catches my attention. At first, it's bright enough to be a flash bomb, but as the initial shock wanes, so does the light. Out from behind the trees calls a voice. "Hello? Anyone there? Thought I heard someone." A girl. Something about her voice feels so soothing. Yeah, I'm here. She emerges from the trees, a slender waist but with a hiker's legs, and a face softer and prettier than I've ever seen. A head dressed in golden blonde locks, which seem to sparkle in the moonlight. She's holding a flashlight, illuminating my face as I stand there in awe. "Oh, hello. What's your name?" "Seth. You're not from around here, are you?" I have never seen a girl like her in town, and she just feels different. "You could say that," she grins. "The name's Lola. I'm in town visiting family and thought I'd go for a quick hike, but I didn't think it would get this dark so fast, and now I'm embarrassed to say I'm a bit lost." "Do you know your way around well?" Yeah, I do. I could show you the way if you want." "Even in this dark?" "Yeah, no problem. I come up here a lot." There's a moment of silence. I hate silence. It gives my brain too much of a chance to fill in the gaps. She must think I'm weird, a strange guy spending all his time in the woods. I don't get many chances to speak to people. Oh God, what do I do? You look tense, she says. Yet she scoots the flashlight into my face again. Something the matter? Oh no, it's nothing. I'll lead you out of here, don't worry. Then lead on. She shines the flashlight onto her face, showing off a big grin, and upon seeing it, my paranoia melts away. There are a few more awkward silences, but this time my paranoia remains docile and meek. The longer I spend with her walking by my side, the easier it becomes. So how long are you in town? I ask. Just a couple days, though honestly I doubt I'll spend much of it with my family. Why not? Oh, well, I have a habit of wanting to get away. I don't press further and don't need to. As we're approaching the edge of the woods, street lamps can be seen in the not-so-distant area. Ah, finally free, she shouts. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Then, thanks for your help. She flashes a smirk, lays her hand on my shoulder, and rubs gently. I'm stricken with a sensation I have never felt before. She turns, ambling away. Wait, I shout, compelled by some ineffable force. This may sound strange, coming from a stranger you met in the woods and all, but would you maybe like to hang out while you're in town? Tomorrow, maybe? She turns around, already smiling. Are you planning on luring me back into the woods to kill me? No, of course not. Oh, relax. It was a joke. Honestly, I was hoping you'd ask me out. She pauses, comes closer, and slips her hand into my left pants pocket. Taking out my phone, she enters her number and slips it back in. The pleasant friction of her hand against my upper thigh sends a jolt throughout my body. With a chuckle, she says, "You're cute." I have completely forgotten what I had planned to do at the cliffside tonight. Finally meeting up with her again, I take her to dinner at a pizza joint a couple towns over to avoid people who hate me at home. So, what's your family like? I ask. Oh, we start our Sunday mornings right by attending church to worship the Lord thy God. Spacing out, I wonder if what I felt last night was nothing more than lust. Right off the bat, she outs herself as just another Christian, and I feel myself being overcome with disgust. Or that's what I would say if I were one of them, she continues, in a tone I now recognize as sarcasm. Yeah, my family are a bunch of crazy born-agains. But my experience with religion, well, none of them would believe me, but it was nothing short of abuse. How could I believe in a God who would let such bad things happen to me? You can't, I reply, and then I explain to her my own qualms with religion. She says, God is nothing but a bully, and I've had enough bullies at school growing up. My family is no better either. I almost can't believe what I'm hearing. Her sorrowful tales of adolescence mirror my own. How wonderful it feels to be understood. We continue to bond over our shared perspectives for the rest of the date, and please, God, please, let there be more. A few months later, I got my wish. She lives about an hour away, but we visit each other all the time. My feelings for her grow more each day, and I've decided to take our relationship to the next level over a special date night I have planned. We take a train to New York City. The trip is about an hour and a half long, but it is well worth what I have in store for us. First, we will get dinner at a five-star restaurant, then a Broadway show, and then wherever the city's nightlife may take us. Though the most important part is at dinner, where I will tell her just how much she means to me. Our date is routine, with our jovial and intimate conversations never wavering. Time flies. Soon enough, I pay the check, and out the door we go. We turn to each other, and words cannot describe just how happy, for the first time ever, I am happy. These last few months with her have made me. Taking her hands, I look deep into her eyes and begin muttering those three special words. I love you. The screeching brakes of a black van pierce my ears as it skids to the curb beside us. Out of it burst three large men wearing all black suits. Two of them grab Lola by her arms and begin carrying her toward the trunk. No, help, Seth, she cries out. I feel it again, the swelling of my chest, the paralyzing fear that has made me the town punching bag for my whole life. This time, however, is different. My body moves on its own, eyes wide, neck veins popping. I grip my pent-up anger, turning it into a fist. Give her back, I shout, unwilling to let go of the only happiness life has ever granted me. Give it up, walk away. She's ours now, says the third man. I hear the unclicking of his gun's safety, the muzzle pressing hot against my forehead in the sweltering summer heat. Give it up, he repeats, though I hear no words. Cocking my fists, they begin their ascent, and a loud bang overtakes me. My world goes dark. I awake to find myself in an empty space devoid of anything but a vast whiteness. What is this? Where am I? You have died. This place is beyond your world, says an unfamiliar voice of whose location I cannot place. Who are you, I ask. You may have died, but fret not, child. Yours is a story that begins after death. It is being decided just what is to be done with your soul, and so it has been done. Out from beneath this white abyss rises many long and bony charred hands. The white space around their eruption cracks and withers away, revealing the scent of sulfur and brimstone beneath. The hands grip my chest, arms, legs, and back, pulling me down from whence they came. Part 1. Descent. He who fights with monsters might take care, lest he thereby become a monster. And if you gaze for long into an abyss, the abyss gazes also into you. Friedrich Nietzsche, Beyond Good and Evil. Chapter 1. I awake to the sickening scent of rancid blood. My body feels like it's on fire. Struggling to my feet, I try to recall what happened. I find myself alone on a cliffside. My head pans left to right. All I can see is an unending sea of flames. The scent jolts my memory. The last sensation I had, the smell of a gun. I was shot. Like the spastic and manic child I once was, I glance around the cliffside. Lola, where are you? She is nowhere to be seen. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised to be given happiness for a few months after a lifetime of sorrow. It's no wonder it would be snatched away from me so soon. The supernatural gravity of this place pushes down upon my shoulders with such force that it feels like I am sinking into the floor. My stomach churns. I drop down to my knees. Through my throat comes a flood of blood. The crimson source of life spews out of me and boils in the heat. I remember that day at the church when my vision blurred, and all I could see was the pastor on stage. It happens again. All visual stimuli appears as the gray static of an old TV failing to pick up a channel. The hands of a creature I don't recognize reaches over my shoulder and turns me toward it. Its unhuman features overwhelm me. There are two of them, these reptilian creatures. Their tall, slender bodies tower over me. Glowing red eyes, not unlike the blood which left me moments ago. Their faces are flat, with large gaping mouths that house tiny, sharp teeth. Fresh blood, one says. Should we pierce him to a pillar? Or is it to the sea of flames? Neither, says the other. We have special orders to bring this one to him. They nod to each other and drag me by the arms into a nearby cave. I can't fight back. My body won't move. This place, wherever it is, holds an aura of such tremendous pressure. I remain at the mercy of these two creatures. Where am I? Where do you think? Asks one. In hell, says the other. I was taught to expect this by my Christian parents, though no part of me ever thought they would be right. Then why do I have a body still, I ask. You don't. That's why you can't move. You are not but a spirit. Souls are like memories in the sense that they can affect the perception of oneself, as well as in the sense that they are easily malleable. Souls are like hot iron. A skilled blacksmith can hammer a soul into a beautiful and destructive weapon. Silence. Our Lord will be angry with you if you say any more than you should, says the other. This is all you need to know. It seems you still have a body because that's all your soul understands. They remain silent while we continue through the cave. I wonder what's in store for me. Is this really my end? Who is that voice from within that white abyss? Who are these really demons? My mind keeps on turning more than ever. I can't wait for all of this, whatever it is, to be over. This cave scent is maddening. It smells of blood and rancid meat. We soon make it to the exit, and before us stands a large open area, entirely flat with tall pillars rising above it. A piercing squeal fills the air. I look toward the direction it came from, and, oh God! On each of these tall pillars which forest the land are what I recognize to be human beings. They are impaled upon spikes protruding outward while blood spills from their bodies. It runs down grooves in the stone and into large pots that sit beneath each of the dying humans. Nearby demons grab a few of the pots, and while some begin bathing in the blood, others gulp it down. Some choose to sever the limbs of their victims and devour the flesh. One chomps into a calf muscle, then salivates at the sight of the humans regrowing their arms and legs like axolotls. It's as if some magic force is preventing them from ever truly dying. As repulsive and saddening as this sight is, it isn't long before we cross over a bridge that sits atop a river of locusts. The incessant crackling of their wings is so loud, I feel it through my I feel as though my eardrums could burst at any moment. We arrive at a gate. It's the entrance to a castle made of black stone. The demons drag me inside. Its interior is lit with lanterns, but the light they produce is scarce. Welcome to Castle Pandemonium, says the demon to my right. At a brisk pace, they drag me down a long corridor. At the end of the hall is a tall wooden double door with a pointed top. I notice a series of paintings along the walls. Each one captures the image of the same four people. A father figure with a long beard, two young boys, one a child and the other on the cusp of puberty. Alongside them is a girl, the same age as the older boy. Their skin a golden brown. The older boy's face is the only one untarnished. Copper-colored eyes and a smile wide and gentle. The faces of the other three are vandalized in various ways. The younger boy's eyes are crossed out. The same is true for the face of the father, with only his long beard breaking through. The girl's face is completely torn away, with a few strands of blonde hair as her sole defining feature. While there are dozens of these photos, each one has been vandalized in the same eerie way. I can't for the life of me figure out who these people are, but the sight of them sends shivers down my spine. It feels like I am looking at something that isn't meant to be seen. We reach the end of the corridor, and my draconic captors open the large double door with a key. Finally, you've arrived, says a voice from within. Against my ears, it sounds like glass scraping against a chalkboard. A grin, reaching about 3 feet in length, emerges from the shadows. I am, as you humans know me, the Lord of Hell, Satan. Each of his many teeth are like long railroad spikes, chattering loudly as he speaks. I have a proposition for you, dear boy. Upon the ending of that last syllable, as if on cue, torches scattered around the room burst into flames. They illuminate the large open space, and his form is presented in full. His height is that of 3 large men stacked on top of each other, with the broad shoulders to match. The back of him extends a few car lengths. Out from the upper back are large wings which are devoid of flesh. All that remains is bone that shows evidence of having feathers burnt away. Because of his enormous stature, he remains on all fours. Well, speak up, boy, he says. The reptilian demons drop my dead weight onto the floor. I avert my eyes away from the intensity of his gaze. You house quite a bit of anger within you. Out of fear, you have gone your whole life suppressing it because you felt those around you would hate you all the more if you showed any sort of weakness. But you did show it in the end. The product of the emptiness inside. The rage. You let it out for a moment before your death, when those bad men took that tasty-looking biscuit away from you. I'm sure they are up to such fun things with her at the moment. I feel it again, the heat building within my chest. Like the fabled phoenix, I feel life surging through my limbs again. I quickly rise, and, teeth clenching, shoot him an angry glare. Yes, my boy, give in to it. Let it fuel you. Fire, while destructive, can give birth to new life. He is ecstatic. His unblinking eyes grow wider. Moving on its own, my body plunges toward him. I notice a shift in his eyes. They give off a yellow glow, and he turns them sharply toward the floor. As his pupils fall, so does my body, and I'm encumbered by the same gravitational force which pinned me to the ground earlier, only this time is far worse. I feel the bones in my back begin to warp and crack. Now, I'm not the one you should direct your rage to. I was simply trying to stir up some power within you, as it is necessary for the transformation. Transformation, I ask. You shall see, if you accept my proposition. And just so you know, boy, those people skewered to the pillars outside, that is your alternative. Choose wisely. Okay, tell me what you want. Being a human, you would not have noticed, but a storm is brewing. Things are about to change drastically in this world. I want to be ready for it. I need a warrior. I think you have me mistaken for those monsters from before. I am weak, always have been. The power of magic grows substantially over time. For eons, it has been suppressed and hidden from you humans, but it is finally ripe for the picking. You will discard your human form and wield far greater power than those demons outside, as you are a fresh soul, and they are naught but old bones. Now you're talking about magic? Magic and hell and demons? None of this makes any sense. This must be a dream, right? I'm still alive, right? Please just let me wake up, please! Boy! I have no time to babysit you. Toughen up! You are dead, and everything around you is more real than anything you ever experienced while alive. He's right. Huh? That voice again. Satan eyes me for a moment, but appears to dismiss his suspicions. Look, there's plenty I need from you, but for starters I need you to take care of a particular demon by the name of Melphis, the Coveter. He has been plotting to usurp me for some time now. Wait, you want me to kill someone? I can't do that. Not someone, a demon. I would send any of the countless demons I already have, but as I said, they are old bones. Melphis would have no trouble wiping them all out. Why not go yourself? What makes you the lord of this place if you're too weak to take care of what should be a small problem? Flames erupt, engulfing the circumference of the room and hovering in the air. They flicker chaotically. The temperature is suffocating. Listen, boy, I admire your audacity, but you best watch your tongue. The flames die down as silence fills the room. I dare not speak another word. Do you think I like it here? Satan continues. A realm of blood and misery. The raging sea of flames. The incessant chatter of the locust that insists that sleep be an impossibility. Look, the circumstances of my being here. He turns around and gazes toward the monstrous throne behind him. My having to sit upon that throne, these are things I do not want, though the confines of my life demand that it remain so, lest disaster strikes. What I truly want, after Melphis is dealt with, is to reclaim my lost paradise. Looking at this monster, somehow, it is almost as if I am gazing upon a young and saddened boy. I know you must feel hesitant to trust me, but would it help to know that I will repay you for your services? As a reward for carrying out the task, not only will you be granted new life, but I will grant you the chance to meet your beloved again. My eyes, renewed with vigor, fiercely meet his own. Satan smiles and lifts the pressure he places upon me, allowing me to rise to my feet. Yes, I know where that pretty little thing is being kept. Just like how I have kept a close eye on you for years, I can peer into the life of just about anyone. I can show you, however. You will not like what you see. I don't care. I need to know. Satan's eyes glow again. A white circle is drawn into the air, opening a window across worlds. Upon completion, it provides a sight I can never unsee. There Lola is, surrounded by a large group of men, naked and badly bruised. One by one they have their way with her, passing her around like a bong in a room full of stoners. A stream of tears coats my face. No more. Please, stop it. Consider this extra incentive, Zane says. Those men are cohorts of Melphus. Interested in helping now? Take his offer. There that voice is again. Satan doesn't appear to hear it. It sounds like it's coming from within my head. I have no idea who it is or how I can respond, but my answer to Satan is obvious. Fine, I'll do it. But I still don't understand what you think I can accomplish. It will be clear once you arrive, he says. Melphus is hiding beneath a laundromat. You will arrive nearby. Head there. Satisfied, Satan again conjures a white circle. This time, the view on the other end is that of a dark alleyway, in which he tells me is New York City. He says to jump through, and I do. Erupting through a second womb, I arrive alive to the city where I died, though the words of those demons who found me on the cliffside worry me. The soul is easily malleable. Am I alive, or do I just perceive myself to be? Either way, there's no doubt that I am back on Earth. I turn a corner, and there passing by in a hurry is a large amount of busy New Yorkers crowding the sidewalk while pushing and shouting at each other. A legion of cars stuck in traffic, taking their morning frustrations out upon those in front of them by laying hard on the horn. This isn't hell, but it might as well be. I can't imagine how Satan expects me, a human, to deal with a demon. My heartbeat feels rough and sporadic. I never liked uncertainty, but I must deal with it. It's my only chance to save Lola. I find the place and glance inside. It's empty, except for a lone attendant sitting at a desk watching TV. What do you want, kid? Asks the man, a peculiar way to greet a customer. I was just about to close. I'm here to see Melphus, I say. Eh? I don't know what you're talking about. Now scram. My mind drifts back to the moment before I died, remembering the anguish on Lola's face as she was taken away. Someone so low that they would order a kidnapping must also be into other unsavory areas of life. I look outside and see a policeman. I hear about the rumors about the drug prostitution rings, I say. There are no rumors. At least, how would I know about them, even if there were? I don't have to be right. I just need to cause a scene. Let me see your boss, or I'll grab that cop from outside and tell him all about it. The man rises from his desk with empty eyes. I don't know what you're on about. Get lost, kid. He seems to be telling the truth. I feel no insincerity in his voice, but I doubt a simple door lackey would know the inner details of an organization. I'm sure he's in the dark as much as I am. As a gatekeeper, he has no reason to know what crimes his boss may have committed. His job is simple: keep people out. I decide to push him. Fine, to the police then. I turn for the door. Good luck, I shout over my shoulder. Kid, wait, he pauses. Fine, I just got this gig and I'd rather not deal with that kind of mess. Come. I follow him through a door behind his desk. Beyond is a stairwell leading into a cellar. We enter a wide basement with a large table in the center. The scowls of 20 men surround it. Not one appears to be a demon. Sir, this guy here was causing a ruckus, threatening to tell the pigs about some shit that... You had one job, interrupts one of the men, sitting at the far end of the table. He walks over to us. He's a tiny blond man with blue eyes. Wait, no, something isn't right. As he comes closer, my head throbs and my vision browns out, cutting away for a second returns, and cuts away again. Before my eyes, his visage metamorphosizes, short stature remaining the same, but his hair turns black and weaves around a crown of horns. His white skin turns pasty and gray, his human teeth chiseled into sharp little points, each a freshly shaven pencil tip. His eyes become a crimson brown. I glance around the room, but none of these strange men seem to have noticed. We are in an important meeting. I ask you not to let us be disturbed for any reason. You have embarrassed me in front of my guests, and that is unforgivable. In a quick and graceful movement, he removes a pistol from his inner suit pocket. He puts the muzzle to the man's forehead and pulls the trigger. The blast ruptures my left eardrum. The man's blood splatters across half my face. Fuck, I say. You'll be fine. I know what you are and why you've come, says the man. Gentlemen, I sincerely apologize, but would you mind if this young man and I have a chat in the other room alone? We shan't be long. With a collective sigh and nod, most of the men gesture that the delay is fine. But one rises from his seat. Hell no, I've waited long enough to hear what you have to offer. If this dumbass foolishly wandering in here is to be the cause of my wasted time, well, I'll just empty a clip in him myself. Before anyone can intervene, the rapid succession of gunshots is heard. My chest feels warm and wet. I look down and my shirt is damp with blood. I can't help but think that this is all some sick joke. Killed a second time over, lured into believing that I could rescue Lola, be happy and alive once more, only to have that hope snatched away from me all too soon. Just like the first time. How I wish this to be a nightmare I could awaken from and find myself again in her embrace. But this pain is too real. This pain... Wait. The pain. It's fading. Some sort of a miracle occurs. I'm not dead. I unbutton my shirt to witness the bullets being pushed outward by my regenerating flesh. They clink against the tile floor. Blood flow stops as the wounds close. My ruptured eardrums heals as well. Sparks crackle around the wound as energy rushes through it. The hell? I got to heart. I know I did. He should be a goner, says the man. He's some kind of monster. At that word, my mind regresses. Memories are stirred, kicked up by a violent gust of wind. I'm in high school again, pinned to the floor. Kicked and beaten while receiving harsh tongue lashings of lies and slander. Monster, they called me. Monster. My heart lets out a loud thump. My vision shakes and my body expands to 4 times its original size. Like a bountiful fall harvest, my head sprouts long horns. They erupt from my forehead and curve backward. My teeth and nails are elongated and thickened. And the heat! It feels like the fires of hell itself now found a new home within my body. Enough, I say, in a voice far deeper than I'm used to. I'm here for the kidnapped girl. Where is she? The man who shot the gatekeeper drops his pistol and takes a step back. The other men, overtaken by shock, fire their guns which now fail to pierce my skin. My agitation isn't quelled. The heat overtakes me. In my palms form orbs of fire, and the skin of my arms bubble like boiling water. I hurl the orbs at the frightened men, and the hellfire engulfs them. All that remains are charred bodies. The room reeks of burnt flesh. Only the one who backed away survives. The bastard just couldn't be patient, he says. Are you talking about the one who shot me? I'm talking about the both of you, he scowls. You have any idea what you just cost me? I know I don't care. Give her back. What do you mean? The girl your lackeys kidnapped. Don't fucking play dumb. Boy, I sincerely have no idea what you're talking about. Don't you lie to... Hold on. Take a moment to gather yourself. I notice the size of my hands. They're monstrous. What happened? Let us cut to the chase, shall we? You're not of this world, not anymore. Satan dug his talons in and created a beast of you. This change allows your gaze to pierce the veil of life and that which lies beyond. You saw it, didn't you? My true form within this vessel? Horrified, I remain mute. Satan sent you on a hunt, did he not? I'm the demon Melphus, the one you seek. But boy, you must remember it is Satan, the master of lies, whom you have struck a deal with. I'm afraid he has deceived you, as there is no girl here. While I, too, am a demon, I promise I share no ties with him. On the contrary, I wish to bring him down. I can't trust you, I say. Satan showed me the horrible things your men were doing to Lola. No such thing occurred, I assure you. They had only arrived shortly before you had. What Satan showed you was a mere fabrication. In fact, I can prove it. He walks over to a door on the opposite side of the stairwell. Inside appears to be a small office space. He disappears into it, then reappears, holding a tall rod. You see, I've been planning to take the throne of hell for myself. Such a grandiose ambition cannot be done without much preparation. That includes surveillance of the enemy. The staff not only aids me in my magic, but within it holds a recollection of events, a sort of memory-retaining magic that responds to a spell I've casted in many parts of the city, as well as others. Well, in any case, with his middle finger and thumb, he flicks the top of his staff 3 times. Sparks fly from each flick, like flint against steel. Upon that third strike, a projection appears, hovering just above the table. Watch closely now. What I see are the unfinished 3 words, "I love you," followed by the screeching black van. There we are, Lola and I, in our final moments. The 3 men in black suits appear, and the scene continues just as I remember, though with one difference. The eyes of the men are as black as their suits. Sprouted from their backs are shadowy wings, and above their heads float the shape of halos. Instead of being gold, the halos are as black as their eyes and wings. What did you just show me? I ask. The truth. This is how I recognized you. You are a fresh one, so this may be a shock, but you and I are not the only demons on Earth. No, there are legions of them everywhere. At the time, I figured this was just the normal daily chaos led by demons masquerading as humans. Little did I know the kid who was shot would miraculously show up at my front door. He pauses and gestures toward the charred corpses scattered around the room. You can see through the veil now, so you know it to be true. These men are mere humans. They are not the demons who took your little lady friend. The ones who did work for the one who sent you here. But let me ask you this. What would you say if I could allow you not only to get your revenge for how Satan manipulated you, but also get your girl back? He may have lied, but I will not. So, what do you say? Wouldn't you do anything to return to your beloved side? Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and listening. I hope you enjoyed the first chapter of The Monsters Among Us. It is released today. Please buy a copy. That is just the very beginning of a very, very exciting and twisty narrative that will keep you on the edge of your seats and surprised every step of the way. So please pick up a copy of the book wherever you'd please, wherever it sells books. And thanks so much for your support. Thank you for buying The Monsters Among Us, and I hope you enjoy it. Please leave a review if you do, and also thank you for joining me on the beginning of my journey as a published author. Thank you.